Hello. Somehow, Kathleen Kennedy is retiring again, I guess. That's what the rumors say. But you know, we here at Jar Jar Studios Plus, we don't believe the rumors. We want confirmation. We want the truth, the facts. We don't want rumors. Who cares if someone says Kathleen Kennedy is retiring again? She's not retiring until she's retired. And I've been told that she plans to continue making movies until she's dead. Which is unfortunate. Because, you know, she deserves a rest. That's what she needs. She needs to rest. She deserves it. Step away from making movies. Go spend time with your family. You know? Does she have a family? Does she have any children? She's probably got kids, right? Go spend time with your kids. That's what George Lucas did. She should follow in his footsteps. George stepped away from Star Wars because he wanted to spend time with his family. Kathleen Kennedy should also do the same, right? Hold on. Okay. She has she has two daughters. She has a Megan Marshall and a Lily Marshall. Okay, so she married to a guy named Marshall. I guess she divorced him. Wow, Frank Marshall. She's still married to him? So did she decided not to take his name or something? Poor guy. That's how you know your woman doesn't love you. She won't take this. She's ashamed. She's ashamed of it.
No!
Okay, so she is married to him. Bro, he's 79 years old. Since 2012, it's been that long! Where you suffered a 14-year reign of Kathleen Kennedy. Frank. In Spielberg. What does a producer do? Producer manages and oversees a creative project like a film, TV show, or play from start to finish, handling the business, financial, and logistic aspect. Okay. Managing budgets, schedules, marketing. Okay. Producer. Alright. Born in California. actually produced Back to the Future. Whoa! I just watched Back to the Future. Bruh. Kathleen Kennedy was a dancer in the Temple of... No. She's in the Temple of Doom. He was a producer. The Indian in the upward. You're not allowed to call them Indians, Kathleen! I can't believe she allowed this movie to be called The Indian Upward. That's disgusting. Kathleen. Who's gonna hold Kathleen to account for this disgrace? 1995. It wasn't that long ago. They were calling them Indians. Disgusting. That's so sick. Dogs, the Force Awakens. Executive producer on Gremlins. Bro, she helped produce Gremlins. Gremlins is good. Colonel Arnold. Yo, what's going on? Alec Almi 676. Does anyone want to talk about Star Wars? Well, we kind of are. I mean, we're talking about Kathleen Kennedy, so it's like Star Wars adjacent. Even though she doesn't... Even though, my opinion, she hasn't managed Lucasfilm very well. That's just my opinion. Take it for what you want. Take it for what it is. I know a lot of people don't think highly of Jar Jar Studios Plus' opinion, but... Joe versus the Volcano? Never even heard of this movie. Brief History of Time? Haven't heard of that. Oh, it's a documentary. Dad? Batteries not included. Aliens! About aliens. Just like... Fandango? The Best of Roger Rabbit. Why is there no link to it? This movie was wiped. Doesn't exist anymore. Oh, it's a romantic drama. The Last Airbender. Oh boy. Who's involved in making The Last Airbender? Alex says Jar Jar Studios Plus the GOAT. Wow, thank you so much. That's such a high opinion of me. I appreciate it. Television. Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett. Look, she's taking credit for Andor. Don't take credit for Andor. We know you didn't make Andor. Willow, 2022. I heard that was horrible. All the reviews I saw of that were trash. Skeleton Crew was mid at best. Acolyte was dog shit. Ahsoka was trash too. It was dog shit. Garbage. Book of Boba Fett was mid at best. It had some funny, goofy moments. So I can appreciate it for that. But overall, Book of Boba Fett was just not good. It was a mess. It was like the narratively speaking, like as far as like it didn't look too bad. There were certain points where it did look kind of cheap, and they even had mistakes in the editing where you could see some of like behind the set, and you could see the faces of the pikes falling off and stuff. So there was some costume prop mistakes, but I'm like middle of the road with Book of Boba Fett. Like they had the music was decent, and they had a good idea from the very beginning, good concept from the beginning, but they failed with the rest of the execution. If they had made it more focused on like Boba Fett as an individual rather than him gathering like a crew of misfits to do what exactly? He's becoming the crime lord of Tatooine, except there's going to be no crime because he's going to clean up the streets so that no one does anything bad anymore. Like, what kind of crime lord doesn't do crime? It's so goofy because it doesn't make any sense. Like, it'd be one thing if he was like, I'm going to clean up this town. I've sworn off my life of crime. We're not going to be criminals anymore, and I'm going to stop all the criminals. But instead, he's in the Book of Boba Fett. He's like, no, I'm the crime lord now. Except no one's allowed to commit crimes. It's a crime lord with no crimes. Mandalorian, that was good. I like the Mandalorian. It does have its issues, but overall positive. Light and Magic, I don't know, it's just a documentary, so it's probably fine. Obi-Wan Kenobi, absolutely trash, terrible, terrible, awful show. Andor, pretty decent. Pretty decent. No, Andor was good. Like out of all these, Andor was definitely the best one. It wasn't necessarily my cup of tea, but I could recognize a good show for what it is. Even if it's a show that doesn't really appeal to me, it's still a good show. I would say Mandalorian is a lot more appealing. It struck a balance between narrative coherence and like cool things happening. It had more of like what I want to see in Star Wars. Andor is a different spin, but like I said, still good. Arachnophobia. Hook. Big fence. Up. Frank Marshall. Let's find about Frank Marshall. Who's this guy? This is the husband of Kathleen Kennedy. I guess he's a producer too, and a director. What has he directed? Worked with directors such as Spielberg, M. Night Shyamalan. Blah, 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 blah. He has also directed the films Arachnophobia, never heard of it, Alive, never heard of it, Congo, never heard of it, Eight Below, I think I've heard of it. Okay, so like movies that almost no one's watched. B-rated movies. He directed the B-rated movies. Okay, so he's not that great of a director. He's mostly a producer. The son of a guitarist, conductor, and composer. With the full science. He was initiated into the Alpha Tau Omega fraternity. That sounds good. Alex says Andor was peak storytelling. We need more from Rogue One. Well, I don't think we need more from Rogue One, but we do need more good storytelling like that. I don't think we necessarily need a lot more. I don't think we necessarily need a lot more Andor stuff, but we definitely need good storytelling for sure. And Andor had that, so can we get more of that? Kathleen says no. Kathleen says, the problem with Andor is that the main character is a man, and we need to change that because Star Wars is about women. It's about girls. The Force is female. Nicholas Porter, yo, what's going on? Somehow Kathleen Kennedy retired. They retire now? Yeah, supposedly. Each chunk sizzle on the floor as Obi-Wan walked in the door. Yo, what's going on, sizzle on the floor? Yeah, supposedly Kathleen Kennedy's retiring. I don't believe it. It's not true. It's a lie. They're lying to you. They're just pretending. Are they? I don't think she's gonna retire. Nicholas Porter says, but there are more of us, Kathleen. There are more of us. Exactly. There are more of us. But it doesn't matter because she's not leaving. She's never going to leave. Never. I reached the final stage of grief a long time ago. Acceptance. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people that still haven't moved on. They still haven't accepted the reality. It's just never gonna happen. Kathleen Kennedy will be president of Lucasfilm for the rest of your life. Only after you are dead and buried will Kathleen Kennedy retire. She won't stop until then. She will never stop. She will never sleep. And even if she thinks about dying, if she dies, Disney will replace her with there'll be an entire archive of her brain downloaded into an AI program, and Kathleen Kennedy will run Lucasfilm from the grave as an AI program. That's what's gonna happen. That's what they're gonna do. They're just gonna replace Kathleen Kennedy with an AI Kennedy. And they won't have to pay her anything. A massive... I mean, they'll have to pay for the data center, but it'll be like a massive Kathleen Kennedy data center with everything that she's ever said or thought. They can hook her up to like a Neuralink or something, and they can analyze the thoughts that she has on a daily basis and see, how her brain functions and stuff. And then they'll just input that into the massive data center, and Kathleen Kennedy AI will be born, and we'll have an executive producer for the rest of our lives. Kathleen Kennedy will make sure that Star Wars is good to go for the remainder of eternity. For the remainder of eternity. Yeah, for the next 100 years. At least for the next 100 years, Kathleen Kennedy will be running Lucasfilm as a AI robot. AI will fix the problems that we have. That's what's going to happen. Each chunk sizzle on the floor says, can I ask why everyone hates Kathleen Kennedy? I am a new Star Wars fan. You're a new Star Wars fan? Wait, how new are you? Which Star Wars films have you seen? Have you seen the TV shows? How long have you been a Star Wars fan? Chunk sizzle on the floor. Nicholas Porter says, like Snow, Kathleen Kennedy, Kathleen Skywalker. Kathleen's clone will run Lucasfilm. That's her clone. I thought we could settle this like men. I don't think so. Colonel X185 says somehow Kathleen Kennedy returned. No, somehow Kathleen Kennedy retired. Somehow Kathleen Kennedy retired. Somehow, Kathleen Kennedy retired again. Each chunk sizzle on the floor says, I've seen the original trilogy, the prequels, saw the first 2 sequels, saw Clone Wars, and I have been one since 2024. So you've only been a Star Wars fan since 2024. So, I want to hear your opinion as a new Star Wars fan. Which films are your favorite from beginning to end? Which ones do you like the most? Which ones do you like the least? I want to know what you think. How would you rate them? Nicholas Porter says, watch The Rise of Skywalker. It's my favorite Disney Star Wars film. Actually, The Rise of Skywalker is probably one of my favorite Disney Star Wars films. Unironically. Nicholas Porter says, Rogue One is boring. I only like Vader's hallway scene. But the thing is with The Rise of Skywalker is, like, the reason why it's my favorite is because there's a very low bar set for Disney Star Wars film. So, like, out of all of the Disney Star Wars films, I think everyone would rate Rogue One as the highest. But, in my opinion, Rogue One is kind of redundant. Like, it's not really that interesting. I mean, it's got some cool moments, like the Rogue One hallway scene. Usually the scenes with Darth Vader are probably my favorite. But the rest of Rogue One, to me, is actually just kind of boring. Because I already know everything that's going to happen. Pretty much. And I know what, like, the entire movie is just about them stealing the Death Star plans. We already know that happened, so... Alex says, Rogue One is everything good Star Wars movie should have been. Each chunk sizzle on the floor says, Revenge of the Sith, #1. Really? Colonel X185 says, I liked Rogue One as it fleshed out the Empire a bit more with the rivalry between Tarkin and Krennic. I did like that. Tarkin, Krennic, Darth Vader. That's I guess the problem I have with Rogue One is the only characters that I like are the villains. Like, they're the only ones that are interesting. Like, I obviously don't like them that they're villains, obviously, because they're the bad guys or whatever. But, like, as far as characters go, they're the only ones that were interesting. Like, I didn't care about Jenna, so I didn't care that she died at the end. Who cares? I don't know, there's something about it. The way, I guess, they set up the story, I just wasn't invested in her character. I didn't really care. I didn't even care that Cassian died. I didn't care that any of the crew died. So they failed at some aspects. There was some aspect of storytelling that they failed at somewhere, and I'm not really sure what it is exactly, but they failed somewhere to where I didn't care what happened to any of those characters at the end of the movie, with the exception of I did like the blind guy. I like the blind guy and his companion with the machine gun. I forgot what they were even called. I don't even remember what their names were. But I thought that guy had a lot of personality. So
who did?
The guy, the blind guy in Rogue One. I forgot his name. You know, the monk. He was pretty much the only good guy character that I cared about in Rogue One. I did not care about any of the other characters. I did not care what happened to them. Anyway, what's going on?
Anyway, Jojo, how you doing?
Andrew. Okay. I had to check. I wasn't sure which person it was. There were a couple of people that sound very similar to each other in this Discord, so they come into
like who sounds similar to me?
Well, I think it was because of your microphone quality or whatever. But I thought it might have been Darth Episticus when you first joined.
I didn't sound nothing like him.
I don't know. Just that's what first came to mind.
Alright, so anyways, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. Kathleen Kennedy, supposedly she's retiring again, but I don't believe that.
It's gonna be another fake out.
Yeah, of course. Nicholas Porter says at least The Rise of Skywalker had some guts to go grand, larger scale. But the only thing I liked about Rise of Skywalker is that it's goofy. I mean, some of the best sequel memes come from The Rise of Skywalker, and we also get a third version of Emperor Palpatine, Ian McDermott's Emperor Palpatine. There's 3 versions. There's the original trilogy version. There's the prequel version as a senator and also as Sith Lord, and then there's the Rise of Skywalker version, which is like a more decrepit Sith. But they all have their own little kind of flavor to them. This. Chunk Sizzle on the floor says. Chunk Sizzle on the floor says the first one, his favorite is Revenge of the Sith. Second one is Return of the Jedi. Third one is The Force Awakens. Fourth one is The New Hope. Fifth one is The Last Jedi. Sixth one is Empire Strikes Back. Seventh one is Attack of the Clones. Eighth one is The Phantom Menace. Damn, this guy would get crucified by most Star Wars fans. Wow. How dare you put The Empire Strikes Back at number 6?
That low.
How dare you?
That's at least 3. That has it's. Oh, that
Nicholas Porter says,
made me mad.
I would have had Luke live and face Palpatine in episode 9.
Because that ruins everything about Disney. They want to take out everything that George Lucas
would definitely have improved The Rise of Skywalker a lot more, because there could have been at least some kind of there could have been at least some kind of emotional investment there. You know, Palpatine returns, Luke Skywalker stops him, saves the galaxy again. It turns out he was the chosen one the whole time. Colonel X185 says, Star Wars villains, especially the villains, Star Wars villains are so interesting. Legends, the 13 Grand Admirals, including Thrawn, I thought could make cool villains. Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of things from Legends that they should have used and haven't. Alex says his name was Chira, the blind guy. Yeah, Chira. I'm pronouncing that wrong. I think it's Chiro. I think it's pronounced Chiro, but it looks like Chira. Nicholas Porter says Maul is getting his own show this year. Wish it were live action with Ray Park. Live action Maul show would be really cool, but I don't think they could pull it off. As far as live action shows are concerned, I don't know what's going on with the live action shows, but I think that they are in serious need of an actual good director or something for live action shows, because I think that's where they're failing, as well as writers. They need someone to write an actual good show, but they definitely need better directors for their live action shows. I don't know what's been going on, but it hasn't been good. Oh, this is, I don't.
Did you do something pointless?
Wait, what?
Did you do something pointless?
Pointless? What do you mean?
You just said, "Oh, I don't need this."
Oh,
so
yeah,
it
was I clicked on the wrong file, so it was. I accidentally made so when you're making when you're rotoscoping the green screens, you only want the single, the program can only handle one scene shot at a time. If you put in multiple scene shots, then it can't function properly. So I have to separate them into parts so that it can understand what it's supposed to be capturing. And so the file that I brought up is it contained a multiple amount of shots, so I can't use that because the program can't understand what it's supposed to focus on.
Okay.
Darth Goob says, I think they're trying to push publicity to try and salvage the Mando and Grogu movie. No one's talking about Star Wars anymore, so they gotta fix that. Yeah, well, they can't just keep doing that forever, though. You know, saying Kathleen Kennedy is going to retire, like, they've done that like 5 times over the years. Like, when is she finally retiring? When is she finally going to go away? I think that the only way Star Wars can ever come back is if they announce her retirement and then actually go through with it. She actually retired. Then people can probably start. Then we can have a new hope, you know, because there will be people that will be like, you know what? I think there's a chance that we can actually get some good Star Wars now. That's what people will think when Kathleen Kennedy is retired. Now, I wouldn't be optimistic personally, but I know that a lot of other people would be definitely a lot more optimistic about Star Wars if they found out Kathleen Kennedy was actually retiring. And so, like, even from like a stockholder position or whatever, like if you're just someone on a corporate board, you need to understand how unpopular Kathleen Kennedy is as the president of Lucasfilm. It's to the degree that the only way that you can bring fans back to Star Wars is just by firing her. That's like the very beginning. The beginning of like something new. The only way we can have any hope for this franchise is if she is gone. Because she's one of the reasons why it sucks. She's one of the reasons why Star Wars is not where it needs to be. So until she's gone, that problem is just gonna persist. We can have no peace, no justice, no peace. We can't make it unless Kathleen Kennedy is dealt. She has to be retired. She must be fired. Nicholas Porter says Hamill's acting was masterful at The Last Jedi. I really wish the sequels were his, not Rey. Well, I mean, yeah, he's still a good actor, but sadly and unfortunately, he was directed to do things that don't really fit his character. So, Nicholas Porter says giving Luke a real nemesis in the form of Palpatine to see his growth as a Jedi without Vader there to save him. The original plan after The Force Awakens was Luke versus Snoke and Rey versus Ben. Yeah, that's probably where J.J. Abrams was going with it. Although we don't actually know because he didn't make a plan, unfortunately. He made it up as he went along. That's the reason why.
Flopped.
And also, and the other reason why The Last Jedi ended up being so stinky was because Kathleen Kennedy, under her direction, decided that each film was going to be directed by a different director, and she gave Rian Johnson the free reign to like make up his own second story. So
that's stupid.
Yeah, it is stupid because I mean, if you're gonna make a trilogy, you need a coherent, complete story, and what we ended up getting was something that didn't make any sense at all. They had to do reshoots, retcons. They had to figure out how to make it all fit together. Mr. Flying Bantha returned. Says, do you remember me? Yeah, I remember you. I'm pretty sure I made a video about you. I made a video with Mr. Flying Bantha in it, so yeah, I remember you. Where have you been? How dare you leave me? You were there during the Will Smith Slap series, but then you just left. You left. Mr. Flying Bantha says you killed me in that video. But I used the reverse Uno card on you. I don't know if that would kill you or not. I guess Reverse Uno is that powerful. Nicholas Porter says Jar Jar said Luke at the end of The Force Awakens was overflowing with the Force. Oh, J.J. Abrams. I'm sorry, I read that as Jar Jar. With the original plan to have rocks floating around Luke and Rey found. Luke at the end of The Force Awakens was overflowing with the Force. Yes. And then in The Last Jedi, he has no Force. He cut himself off the Force. I gave up the Force. It doesn't exist anymore.
No, you give up. That's cowardly.
Yeah.
They completely screwed over Luke in those movies, dude.
Yeah, did. So
made him and turned him into a coward. That's what they do with these Star Wars characters now. They make them to be the biggest cowards that anything's ever seen.
Yeah, that's why people don't like the sequels. So they took
Look at Obi.
They took all the happy and good characters, and then they turned them into losers.
Perfect example is that is Obi-Wan in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah,
Kenobi show. Into a giant coward.
Kenobi show is still the worst show that's ever been created by Star Wars.
Oh, you forgot about the Acolyte?
No, Acolyte is not as bad as Kenobi show. Kenobi show is worse.
My opinion, the Acolyte is...
Look, as bad as the Acolyte is, and it's really bad, the fact of the matter is, the Acolyte is like, most people don't even remember that it exists. Because it's like on the edge of Star Wars canon. Like it's 100 years before the Phantom Menace. No one even knows that it exists, and it's mostly forgotten. So it's not really that big a deal that it exists. I think for most people, they don't even consider it canon because they don't even remember about it. But the Kenobi show is right dead center in the center. It's in the middle of canon. It's in between the prequels and the original trilogy. It's more egregious because it takes existing characters. The reason why I don't care that much about the Acolyte is because the Acolyte doesn't really touch any characters that exist, and it just creates all new original characters that no one gives a shit about, and then it kills off a bunch of them, and no one even cared because it was a garbage show. The only character that it like kind of messed up is, I guess, technically Yoda, because he's in an end credits scene. But even Yoda, we don't even know what she told him. So as far as he's concerned, she could have just lied to him, and I guess maybe because he was busy with something else that he didn't sense that she was lying to him or something. So that's all we know about the Acolyte. That told Yoda something, and we don't know what it was, and she could have just lied to him. So there's no way of knowing. But as far as Ki-Adi-Mundi is concerned, I don't think it actually hurt his character at all, because everyone just constantly memes on Ki-Adi-Mundi anyways. So like no one took him seriously in the first place. So if Ki-Adi-Mundi is, I guess maybe if you're a really serious Ki-Adi-Mundi fan, you'd probably be upset that he knew about the events in the Acolyte and he didn't say shit about it. But honestly, I don't even care. I think it's actually it actually be kind of funny to have Ki-Adi-Mundi actually know about that. He was just so stupid, just didn't say anything.
Such a big head, you can't think that well. Damn.
He got 2 brains, and the only thing that's in his brain is the thought of having sex with one of his wives.
I was thinking it, but didn't say it.
all of his he's got 7 wives. Yeah, he was busy looking for another wife. He didn't have time to he's a Riz master. He doesn't have time for that stuff. for like protecting the galaxy and stuff. That's not a So, to me, The Acolyte, not really that big a deal. It is a horrible show for sure, but it's not the worst show. It's not the worst one. The worst one is 100% Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then the worst sequel movie is actually The Force Awakens, because it creates the foundation for all the bad things that happen in in the rest of the sequel trilogy is The Force Awakens. So it is by far the worst Star Wars movie ever made. But as far as TV shows go, Obi-Wan the Kenobi show is the worst.
Guys, it might kick me out, VC. So ping me if it kicks me out.
What? Why would you?
It might kick me out, VC, because I'm going to a different website on my phone.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nicholas Porter says Ryan wrote that expecting Luke to face the First Order with a laser sword is nonsensical. Did he not see that what the Jedi could do? Luke, by the time sequels, would be the most powerful Jedi ever. That's what he should have been. That's what people were expecting. That's what they wanted to see. And he said, "I know what people want to see, and I'm not gonna give that to them because I don't give a shit what the I don't care what the audience wants." So.
That's cruel. They should be ashamed.
What's cruel?
Knowing exactly what we want, but holding it right over our heads.
Yeah, they should. That's true. They should be ashamed, but they're not ashamed.
We have the power to
gleeful
about it. We're not going to do it.
They hate the audience. They hate you. They think you're a sucker, loser. They laugh at you. That's why they have Luke drink titty milk in The Last Jedi. They want you to be. They want you to be upset. They're taunting. Nicholas Porter says the sequels were the perfect opportunity to show Luke becoming what Anakin could have. They were. 100%. True. The potential. What could have been? Look, we still have a chance for something decent in the future. This is the way it has to work. The sequels have to be decanonized. That's a must. It has to happen. And the sequels, after they're decanonized, they can... I mean, obviously this would be under the direction of a different company. That's what would have to happen. A new company would have to buy Lucasfilm. The sequels would have to be deleted, decanonized. Same thing with all the shows. Everything that was George Lucas, we'll keep that. But everything else, it needs to go. All of it just needs to disappear.
Including the Clone Wars?
Huh?
Including the Clone Wars?
No, the Clone Wars was made by George Lucas. Obviously, Dave Filoni was writing a lot of the episodes and stuff, but still, George Lucas was it was under his direction, so he still technically approved it, even though. Now, the thing about the Clone Wars is, I think people give a lot more grace to the Clone Wars because it's an animated show, and I feel the same way. I don't expect as much from the Clone Wars as an animated show. So even though there are plot holes and inconsistencies in the Clone Wars, I think that overall it's still fine. I think there are some things that probably should be fixed or addressed, which, I mean, because there are a number of glaring issues in the Clone Wars for sure. One of them being like a huge one, probably the biggest one, more than anything else, is magic. They have the Night Sisters. They have magic. What is magic? Is it part of the Force? Is it in a separate category of power altogether? Like, what exactly is it? How does it work? What does it do? And that's one of the problems, is right now magic is in a spot in Star Wars where it can be utilized as a writer's cop-out for anything. Like, anything that you need magic to do, it can do. You need to teleport somewhere, magic can do that. You need a weapon, magic can give you a weapon. You need to read someone's mind, magic can read their mind. You need to appear to someone in the afterlife, you can do that with magic. If you need to find someone across the galaxy, magic will show you where they are. So, like, the powers are very poorly defined in the Clone Wars. And so, and also in the Ahsoka show. So they really need to nail that down and explain what limitations are, how is someone able to use magic, who can use magic, why they can use magic. You know, is it a dark side part of the Force? It certainly seems to be that way, because it deals a lot with, like, witches and the undead and all kinds of evil-looking things, for sure. So I would say it's most definitely not like a light side. They're not light side abilities. So, but it's still not explained what it is or how it works. So they need to do that. What's another big problem in the Clone Wars? I mean, there's obviously like a bunch of small inconsistencies as well.
A big the Clone Wars is Jar Jar talks way too much and way too long.
No. It's the opposite.
He doesn't talk enough.
There's most definitely not enough Jar Jar Binks in the Clone Wars. That is a problem for sure. That's true. I agree. There's not enough Jar Jar in the Clone Wars. I agree. That's a good point, Andrew.
No, I said there was too much of him in the Clone Wars.
No, there's not enough. I agree.
No, no, that's not what I said.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, man.
Banned.
Banned again. Banned from Roblox. Banned from every game. Andrew,
You're banned.
Andrew, you gotta behave yourself.
What if I don't wanna?
What if I don't want? Then you guys keep getting banned from everything.
What if I don't get banned and I keep on doing it?
Nicholas Porter says, what would have happened in Kenobi Season 2? What would you have happened in Kenobi Season 2? Well, there's different ways you can go with Kenobi Season 2. Season 2. Okay, so we're still assuming Season 1 is still here. Well, Kenobi Season 1, you can do exactly what I suggested in one of my videos, because if Kenobi Season 1 exists, then it really doesn't matter what happens in Kenobi Season 2, because the entire timeline's already fucked. So, Kenobi Season 2, I think it should be about Alon's Lees Bogano. I think that he should round up a team of bounty hunters and go after Obi-Wan. Yeah, that's what should happen in Kenobi Season 2. 100%.
My Discord report got answered.
And And you're banned for slander again.
No, I reported somebody. It only took them 10 days to respond to it. I might get my biggest hater banned.
Really? Biggest
Yeah,
hater.
he made death threats to me, and I screenshotted it all, and now I reported him for it.
Wait, what did he say to you?
Oh, death threats.
Death threats? What the? Nicholas Porter says they want a Wanga.
People to touch the game.
Nicholas Porter says, I liked the Boba Fett scene at the end of Mando Season 2 when he took over Jabba's palace. Yeah, they should have just left that there. But also, I would have preferred that the end of the Book of Boba Fett, I mean, the beginning of the Book of Boba Fett was not him, like, taking over Jabba's place as, like, a crime lord, but just that he killed Bib Fortuna because he had some kind of beef with him, and then sat down on his throne, not because he was actually gonna rule Tatooine, but just because he was sitting on the throne, just because, you know, he threw down the king and just decided to sit on his throne. But I think it just goes against Boba Fett's character to be like anything other than a loner. So I think that's the main issue I have with the Book of Boba Fett is he's not a loner. Instead, he is like trying to put together a family. He's trying to make a crime. We're a family. Oh, family. So, but that's not really his character. And if you want to make it his character, you could probably do that, but you'd wanna like set that up. You want to make that an arc rather than that's the way he is from the beginning of the season. He wants to have a family, I guess. It's like, I don't know. I don't get it. Because you could kind of see that with like the Tuscans maybe, but even still, like, he basically became like a member of their family in such a short amount of time. Like, it just doesn't even make any sense. Like, if they had spent more time, maybe a couple more episodes on that, then I could have seen it, I think. But it was only like 2 episodes. And he was just a nice guy. Like, in general, he was just a really nice guy. And that just doesn't make it. That just doesn't fit for like a ruthless bounty hunter. Like, you're gonna be the best bounty hunter in the galaxy. The reason why you're the best in the whole galaxy is because you're dirty. You're unscrupulous. You're not going to follow the rules, and you're also going to be ruthless and brutal. That's how you become the best bounty hunter in the galaxy. You can't become the best. And I'm not saying you should even want to be the best bounty hunter in the galaxy, okay? Like, the best bounty hunter in the galaxy before that was like Cad Bane. Obviously, he's not a good person. So, it's not like people should strive to be that, but it's just a fact of reality that if you're going to be the best in certain fields, you kind of have to be a psychopath. You know, if you're going to be the best in the military, you know, to a certain degree, there's some people. If you're gonna be the best hitman, you're obviously a psychopath. That's what I'm saying. You know. So Boba Fett is they wanted to turn Boba Fett into a hero character. And
No.
I don't know why, because they didn't need to do that. Not necessary. Nicholas Porter says they got Boba right in Mando season 2. Tamora Morrison played him brilliantly. The tough, ruthless Boba. They mellowed him out for the Book of Boba Fett while keeping Cad Bane tough. Exactly that. They got it. They got it correct. I think it was because of the director the director was given creative freedom for the scene with Boba Fett, and that's why he did all the things that he did, because they just said go wild with Boba Fett basically, and the director decided to go with Conan the Barbarian kind of approach with Boba Fett, where he was kind of brutal, and so like they should have kept that going if they wanted to make Book of Boba Fett good. But instead, they decided to go for, I guess, Jon Favreau's idea, which his idea was to have Boba Fett more like the Godfather instead of Conan the Barbarian. So, mistakes were made. Thank you, Jon Favreau has failed us. If he had followed the original vision from Mando Season 2, we wouldn't have had this problem, I don't think. Nicholas Porter says, just a simple man making his way through the universe. Exactly. Like, they should have just followed that template. Simple man making his way through the universe. Simple, not complex. You know, starting a crime family on Tatooine is complex. That's a complex undertaking. That's not a simple undertaking. What's simple is, I'm just a bounty hunter. I do jobs. I get in my spaceship. I fly around the galaxy, and I collect bounties. That's simple. Complicated is, I'm a crime lord now, and I'm gonna deal with the logistics of organizing an entire crime family, especially an entire crime family that doesn't even commit crimes. They're not selling spice anymore. They're not selling drugs. So, like, what exactly is this crime family selling? What criminal activity is this crime family engaging in, if they are not engaging in the traditional criminal undertakings of the underworld in Star Wars? What exactly are they doing? Alec says Bob. Bob? Bob. Bob the tomato. Larry the cucumber. Bob the tomato. Bob the Tomato versus Emperor Palpatine. Nicholas Porter says Boba's arc was given to the Mandalorian largely. Yeah. Yeah, the Boba Fett could have been what the Mandalorian was. I mean, they're both like this, basically the same kind of character. So like, they both could have been in the same situation. Both bounty hunters, after all. So Alex says Bob gets fired from The Incredibles. Comes to mind. Comes to mind for what? Luke's arc has been given to Ahsoka. I don't know, what is Ahsoka's arc? What's funny about this scene here is, if Biff had just punched him in the face, he wouldn't have had that problem. But instead, he tries to punch him in the gut, and he runs. And his hand hits the metal plate. Nicholas Porter says she's the post-OT hero while Luke is relaxing. Yeah, I could see. Yeah, I see that. I see what you're saying. Yeah, while Ahsoka is out accomplishing things, Luke Skywalker is like sitting on an island with Ahsoka, because he's like, I'm not gonna do anything. Whoever designed this character here, they gave him literally the worst haircut you could possibly imagine. They knew exactly what they were doing. But it's almost like it's Gen Z, but it's Gen Z all over again. Just like the Gen Z haircut right here. The broccoli perm. Except it's kind of cut too close to the side. Look at this. It looks exactly like a broccoli sprout coming out of his head. Raised. I wonder if I should use this for adapting. Look at that. It's rotoscope. Revenite Master says, "Hey Jar Jar, long time no see. I don't remember Revenite Master. I'm sorry. I don't remember. What was your name before?" Bro, they look exactly the same, and they had 2 kids. I love this part of the movie right here. You watch this one actor right here, this one child actor here. Watch. Where is it? It's right here, right here, right here. Look at this. Right here. This, focus in on this child right here.
It means your future hasn't been written yet. No one... It means your future
Look,
hasn't
right
been
there.
written yet. No one... It means your...
He's signaling to someone offset that he has to go pee. It was so weird. I remember there was a movie review where they pointed that out and they're like, what's this kid doing? Because he's like, he's gesturing, he's beckoning, and then he points to his private.
Future hasn't been written yet. No future
Why?
hasn't been written yet.
How long did they have this poor kid on set that he had to go pee right then and there? I need the right angle for the DeLorean. This might be a good angle right here. This as well. The most unrealistic part of the entire Back to the Future series is Native Americans are running through the plains here, and they see a strange thing like a DeLorean just appear in front of them, and they don't bat an eyelash. They don't stop in amazement. They just keep going, almost like he doesn't even exist. Like they just keep running along. If someone saw a car appear in front of them in 1865, I doubt very highly that they wouldn't stop everything they're doing just to see what the heck is going on. They would be stunned in amazement. This is a pretty neat special effects shot. How does he make this? Is it possible to generate 1.1 gigawatt of electricity with a steam train? Okay, Reddit. How did Doc get the 1.21 gigawatts in the train time machine in Back to the Future Part 3, knowing that he could not get plutonium in 1885? 1.21 gigawatts was his prototype flux capacitor required. He never upgraded or modified it, just the power source. First plutonium, then Mr. Fusion. Possible that with a nice quiet life in 1885, coupled with his knowledge of how to successfully build a time machine, he significantly reduced the power needs of the next iteration of the flux capacitor. What I hypothesized happened is this: Doc spent several years working in his off time. Rare times he enjoyed his life in the Old West with Claire and his children, building a much more efficient flux capacitor. So in like 5 years he did it? He somehow got a hold of another train, probably with a little bit of smart investing or selling inventions, just a year or so earlier than they appeared in the original timeline. Flux capacitor 2.0. How exactly? We go from 1.21 gigawatts. Somehow he got a hold of a train. Somehow Doc Brown returned. Doc Brown built this time machine in a cave from a hoverboard. Bruh. What's crazy to me is that the DeLorean still ran on gasoline. They literally had the Mr. Fusion thing is basically like a miniaturized like fusion reactor, and so there's literally no reason for the DeLorean to run on. This guy right here completely forgot that the DeLorean in the mine isn't in the mine because they already got it from. Oh wait. No, there's two DeLoreans. Wait a second. There would be two DeLoreans, wouldn't there? Because how did Doc Brown end up in the past? Yeah, there was two DeLoreans, so there was still a DeLorean that was left behind. I guess that makes sense. This might be useful. They even do the spin. Perfect. All the different angles. I think this one might be the best one. Alex says, Jar Jar, did you know there's going to be a Bluey movie coming to cinemas soon? Really? I did not know that, but I'm not surprised. Bluey is a very popular show. Horrible. Ooh, fire path. Perfect. I'm gonna do that for later. AB says, Mista bustin' with happiness to see Yusa working on this. Yusa bustin' with happiness, huh? I'm glad to hear it. I hope that you will watch it when it comes out. And I hope you'll like it, too. Who knows? Let's see how this turns out. So far, my idea is... So the original request, the person who made the video request, wanted me to have Marty McFly throw a pie plate at Palpatine. So that was the only thing he wanted specifically. Is he said, I want Marty McFly to throw a pie plate at Palpatine. So that's something that has to happen in the video. But that the rest is up to me. So I think what's going to happen is Doc Brown probably going to come flying in to the rest. His time machine will, I guess it'll run over Palpatine or something. Oh, AB says, of course I'll watch it. I paid to... Okay, so you're the one who sent the super chat. Okay. Yeah. So my idea is, I think Doc Brown will come in at the end of the video and run over Palpatine. Now, the only thing, AB, the only thing is, in the third movie, he's not called Chicken, he's called Yellow. So the line that Marty McFly has doesn't fit with the line that you want him to say. If you want me to sentence mix it so that Palpatine says chicken, the scene that I have of him in the cowboy hat, he says, nobody calls me yellow. But he doesn't say nobody calls me chicken in the third one. He says nobody calls me yellow. Now he might say it in the second one, but that would mean kind of messing with people's sense of continuity. You know, suddenly Marty McFly, his clothes change, like from one shot to the next, his clothes completely change to something else. Nobody calls me chicken, and then all of a sudden he's got a cowboy outfit on. So, if it's possible for me to sentence mix him to say yellow, but I don't even know if I could do that. So, that part I might have a little bit of difficulty with. I might have to use one of the... He does say chicken in the second one, if you want to splice the audio over it. I guess I could... That might work as well. That's possible. If I just replace the word chicken and replace the audio, so instead of saying yellow, it says chicken. I guess I could try that and see how it looks. I mean, see how it sounds. If it sounds good, then I guess we'll keep that. Alex says, Bluey movie will be a big hit with lots of kids, but do you think it will ever beat the Minecraft movie in ticket sales? Maybe. Possible it might do that well, because it's just a fun kids show, so I'm sure a lot of parents will be taking their kids to see the Bluey movie. I don't know, maybe they won't have enough money to take their kids to see the Bluey movie. The recession. Can't afford to see the Bluey movie. No. Mom, I want to see the Bluey movie. Sorry, Johnny, we can't afford it. Can't afford it. We'll watch it on streaming when it comes out. But I don't want to wait. Lucy said that her dad is taking her to see it. How come you can't take me to see it? Well, we're not made of money, John. PB says Palps is gonna be clobbered with the oven door. This is gonna be, as Marty would say, heavy. I'm thinking about it. I'm not entirely sure how it's all gonna work together. The way I usually do this kind of stuff is I'll make a lot of green screens, and then a lot of them I won't end up using. When I'm actually editing it all together, I guess it's kind of similar, you could say, to the way movie making is. You know, they'll do shoots and reshoots, and they'll have a lot of footage, and they'll edit things in and edit things out, and there's a lot of stuff that just goes totally unused. And so that's the way my process is. Like, I'll make a bunch of green screen, and there'll be a lot of stuff that I end up leaving out. So I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to use the door yet, but there is a good possibility because it does fit well. So Alex says, do you think we will see Cad Bane return again after his final duel in the Book of Boba Fett in the upcoming Mando movie? It's kind of ridiculous, but I wouldn't mind seeing Cad Bane again. Although I don't think we'll see him in the Mando movie. It's possible, but I'd say unlikely, because I think they do a lot of that where they don't really plan on doing anything with the character. They're just testing the waters. Like, they want to see what people's reaction to things are, and then if it's a good reaction, then they go with it. But if it's not, then they just leave it where it is. It's kind of like, I guess you could say, the Darth Maul cameo in Solo, where they just drop the cameo, but they're not really going to do anything with it unless there's like a really positive response to the cameo. That. Or maybe they're just doing it for the sake of doing it. Like, just because it's a cameo, they're just doing it just because. Alex says, okay, thanks for another great answer. Hey, you're welcome. Anytime I'm streaming, I'll give you the best answers. You get only the best answers here at Jar Jar Studios Plus. Nowhere else do you get answers like this. Alex says, "I wish Solo movie did not flop so hard as it did, but no one asked for it anyway. The trilogy was just getting started. Even Kylo 1 did not even see the light of day until they pulled the plug." Oh, the Kylo movie. Yeah, well, Solo is, I don't know. I think if you want to judge Solo based on like it's just a Star Wars story, then it could be a pretty good like Star Wars movie. Problem with Solo is that it's supposed to be about Han Solo, and the character in the Solo movie is not Han Solo, and that's the problem. I think they did a pretty good job with Lando, but the Solo that they chose, not only in casting, because they could have very easily cast someone that actually looked like Han Solo. There were like probably tens of thousands of applicants for Han Solo. You could have easily chosen someone that looked at least somewhat similar to Han Solo, like Harrison Ford. But instead they just went with the guy that they went with. I think probably because of nepotism, because he had connections or whatever. But regardless, the casting choice was poor, and then in addition to that, the character itself didn't act like Han Solo at all. So, and I know it's supposed to be a younger Han Solo, but still, like, they absolutely failed with like the characterization of Han Solo, as well as like, I mean, there's multiple continuity errors in the movie itself. So, what they need to do if they wanted to fix that movie was they had to make it about someone else other than Han Solo, someone else that owned the Millennium Falcon before Han Solo. I could believe that as a character that, for example, like if he had owned the Millennium Falcon and then Han Solo came across later, like they could have even still had Chewbacca in the story. That would have worked fine. And then Han Solo could have came along later, and maybe Han Solo could have joined that original crew, and then like developed, I guess, a relationship with Chewbacca, and then once that original character dies off, then Han Solo I guess inherits the Falcon in a way. But yeah, the Solo movie isn't good for that reason. Also his love interest, he's just not that kind of character where he's got like a diehard love interest where he's like madly in love with some lady or whatever. That's just not his kind of character. And then how he gets his name is also kind of stupid. How he gets his, like, he all of his knickknacks and accessories, like, they're in the movie. How he gets all of those things. is like in the movie. So like the one guy, he gives him a blaster, and he can speak Wookiee, huh? Bro can speak Wookiee. Like, Wookiees are not like widespread throughout the galaxy. It wouldn't be normal for someone to speak Wookiee unless they like grew up among them or something.
But I think like back in like 19 hello Jar Jar, by the way.
Hi.
I think like back in like 1977, like in the original trilogy, that was kind of already a thing where Han Solo would understand everything Chewie said. So that was kind of already a thing.
What do you mean?
Well, in the original trilogy, it was very clear Han Solo understood every.
Yeah, I know he can understand him in A New Hope. The question is, how, when he had no interaction with Wookiees at all in the Solo movie, did he understand how to speak Wookiee? People don't just have languages downloaded into their brains. Like, where does he get this information about how to speak Wookiee? And why on earth would he even learn how to speak Wookiee? Because, like I said, Wookiees are not widespread throughout the galaxy. It's not normal to speak Wookiee. It's normal to speak, like, the galactic language of English because, you know, the Imperials dominated the whole galaxy. So, it's just like in the same way, it's normal for most people around the world to speak English. It's like one of the #1 languages around the world. But it's totally abnormal for someone to speak, for example, Swahili, because there's not a whole lot of people that speak Swahili. It's relatively to many other countries, as well as like in regards to its influence, it's a small country. So it doesn't have a lot of influence in the world, so it wouldn't make sense for a lot of people to speak Swahili. But if someone who never spent any time with people that spoke Swahili was able to speak it, that'd be weird. Like you would have to question, okay, why is this character able to speak this language? And what we know about Han Solo in the Solo movie is that he's on a planet which depicts no Wookiees whatsoever anywhere. He's not working with Wookiees. He's not, stealing from Wookiees. It's not a planet that has Wookiees on it. And yet, that's the planet where he grew up alone as an orphan. And for some reason, he knows how to speak Wookiee once he gets to... Was it in the Empire Academy? They taught everyone how to speak Wookiee? For what reason exactly? They tried to wipe all the Wookiees out, so why would anyone even want to speak the language?
To be fair, Star Wars has a lot of unanswered questions. I mean, like from the we were expecting the sequels to answer a lot of those questions. For example, like how they get the lightsaber back or whatever, how'd she find it? So, but they ended up not answering that. So Star Wars has always been like a universe where questions are never answered, and sometimes even inconsistencies. So I mean, that's just how the story is. It's a fictional story, unless someone brings some random answer into the canon. We have no answer right now. That's just how it is.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I mean by Solo is a bad movie, because it creates questions instead of it doesn't logically fit with the rest of the story. That's what makes a story good or bad. Is it logically consistent? And so if you have a story about a fictional universe, that's fine. You can establish the rules for that universe, and if you go against those rules, if you, for example, have a character that killed someone in one movie, and then in the next movie they say that another character killed that person, that's an inconsistent story. That doesn't make any sense. And so that's a bad story, because you're not even paying attention to your own continuity. You made it one way in the previous film, now it's another way in this film. Why? Because you're not paying attention to the story that you wrote yourself, or you're not paying attention to the story that came before. And that's the problem. That's why Solo is a bad movie, because it doesn't pay attention to the rest of Star Wars canon. And that's the reason why the sequels are bad. It's because they don't pay attention to any of the canon that came before. Okay? It's always valid to critique a
I
a
agree.
movie on the basis of itself. Every
I
story
agree.
has to have its own consistent rules and narrative for it to be a good story. And the more people veer away from that, the worse the story is.
I know, pretty much everything after the prequels, and that was one of the reasons why it was bad. Not only was it boring, were the movies after the prequels boring as crap, it was like no story at all. I mean, even prequels had some inconsistencies, and was a little was imperfect in some ways, but it at least had a story. Like, for example, like in the prequels, it at least explained to us who Darth Vader was before he was Darth Vader. It explained that he was Anakin, and it explained that there was a lot of Jedi and stuff. So the prequels at least answered some questions, but yeah, the sequels, it's just like, it just, all it did was just bring more questions, and it never once answered any of those.
Exactly. That's why they're not good.
Is the Rey movie still being made or no?
I don't think so. I don't think it was ever being made. Not really. Like, they might have been doing like some of the like the pre-work that's necessary to start making it, but I don't think they ever got to actually making it. Like, they didn't do any shooting of any scenes or anything. I don't even think they got out of the writers' room with that movie. So
I wonder how what the live of like Daisy Ridley or Finn, the guy that played Finn, is going, basically the other people, because like I mean if the sequels were popular, you would definitely see like them and like meeting other YouTubers, seeing like if the sequels were like big and actually good, I would expect to see like Daisy Ridley on like some sort of podcast or something on like a YouTuber or something, but no, like never one, like because people did, if the sequels and stuff were so bad that no one wanted to see any of the actors like at all. And so them showing their faces would just bring more hate. And I mean, I feel bad for them because ultimately it's not their fault. It's the people who wrote the movie that kind of made them the laughing stock. And it's...
I think, I mean, to some degree that's true, but also there is a little bit too much sympathy pushed their way, because if you look at some of the things that some of these actors say, it's very obvious that they, in some ways, kind of deserve what they're getting. For example, I saw
Definitely.
the character that played Finn. I mean, the guy that played Finn, John Boyega, talking about how Star Wars has always been a quote, like white kind of franchise for white people or whatever, which, you know, tells you what you need to know about his ideology, which is that he...
Yeah, that he thinks it's like... Yeah, that black people are victims and like white people are the evil.
Yeah, so it's like... So, I mean, he's not really any different than the directors of these films, the writers, or Kathleen Kennedy. He's just... So, I don't think that he was...
Definitely, yeah. Like, I would agree
he's not really
that,
on the side of Star Wars fans, I guess you could say.
Like, I would
saying
agree
that there's never been any like major black characters in Star Wars is obviously just not even true. Because like they've been in Star Wars movies, just because there hasn't been one that's like the main character. And also, like, why is that necessary for... I mean, it's not... if what you want is a black protagonist, there's movies with a black protagonist. If you feel that's absolutely necessary in Star Wars, I mean, the question is, of course, like, why? Why does that character have to be black? Just like in the same vein is like, why does the main character of a Star Wars movie have to be a woman? Like, it's because Kathleen Kennedy wants it to be a woman. That's why. Like, not because it would make for a good story or anything like that. It's about checking boxes. It's about, you know, their political ideology, and they're not really convincing anyone, obviously, but they're just letting you know, hey, we're here, and this is the way Star Wars
ruins people's lives.
This is the way Star Wars is gonna be for the rest of your life. Which is why everyone wants Kathleen Kennedy to retire and not be there anymore.
Even if she retires, they'll just replace her with someone that will just continue her work.
Exactly. That's one of the reasons why I think there's not really going to be any change.
Yeah, Star Wars will always have a place in my heart, but I will say that nowadays, especially when we have like people who are YouTubers that grew their channels off of going against like what Disney has been doing and stuff, you know, I enjoyed that time, but now it's there's just no more reason to be mad anymore, because there's just no point. Like, I mean, Star Wars is dead pretty much. Well, maybe not dead per se, but no more new Star Wars will be good. Star Wars will be how it used to be, you know. And a lot of us Star Wars fans are getting older. It's time to put, focus on life, because these what I'm starting to realize, especially with some other YouTubers, is that even though it's been a while, sometimes they repeat the same stuff over again, because they know that to get the audience attention, they have to keep trying to remind people of the past. And so I'm of sequels and stuff. Even though the Rise of Skywalker was 6 years ago, people are still talking about it, and they're just keeping the fans mad and mad. It's yeah, I get it, the sequels are trash, but just move on at this point. No point in talking about it again, in my personal opinion. I mean, you get where I'm at? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people have already moved on. It's just, if there's going to be any kind of I mean, it's true. Star Wars is dead. Not like Star Wars itself. I mean, it's just as it's dead as any other good franchise is, which is, it's not technically dead. The original stuff is still what it is. It's still good the way that it is.
New stuff,
it's just as far as anything new that they're making, it's dead in the water, because it's not good. So, but
yeah,
I mean, you could say move on, but I mean, people don't.
I'm not saying
forget
about any of it. I'm just saying there are still, because I'm just saying I think
customer is always right, and the customer wants good Star Wars.
Yeah,
that's what they want. And they're not going to shut up, and they're not going to shut up until they get what they want.
Oh, okay. Unless you work at a fast food place. In that case, sometimes the customers are just assholes. Trust me, I have experience.
Really?
Yeah. Have you ever heard of the YouTuber, The Odds Went Out?
No.
Okay, well, it's just an American YouTuber. He basically was making fun of customers who go to fast food places, and it is true. And I just want to say it is true sometimes, but if at a fast food place, if anyone tells you the customers are always right, tell them that they are full of shit. Because sometimes, even when you do your job perfect, the customers will still somehow be mad at you and stuff. Like, especially like older, like depressed individuals that like
Older
will just...
depressed individuals.
Wait, no, so sorry. I meant like there's... Okay, sorry. We were talking about Star Wars, and now I'm talking about real life stuff. Okay,
Yeah, you're talking about fast food. I don't know much about that because I don't go to fast food restaurants, but I did used to work. I did used to work at a fast food restaurant, and I would say it's a mix.
Yeah, it's definitely
But-
a mix. Sometimes it is your
see-
fault as the worker.
I can see a lot of, yeah, I don't know, probably like 50-50.
There were times when I definitely made some mistakes in like my job, but there were times where the customers were just being assholes about everything, like
Yeah.
like the smallest thing. And the worst part is, even if it's not even my fault, I would get blamed for it because the customer is mad, so means that the manager should blame me on everything and stuff. And
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
it's your fault.
Maybe
You
I
can't
was
make
just
the customer
unlucky.
mad.
What?
It's your fault. You can't make the customer mad.
I didn't though. Sometimes it's like sometimes it's not even that, you know. sometimes I think, especially when you look at like reviews on Yelp, which is like the app where like people can like go to food places and then rate it and give their review on it.
Give their
And
correct
sometimes
opinion.
you just...
Give their correct opinion.
Yeah, well, yeah, correct opinion. And sometimes you look at them, and a lot of the times it's reasonable, but then you see people write down like long, like entire chapters over
Nicholas
one
Porter
little
says,
thing.
hold on,
Yeah.
wait.
What?
Nicholas Porter says, what BTTF is your favorite?
What?
What's a BTTF? Nicholas Porter, what is that?
I'll search it up. BTTF.
Yeah.
Back to the Future.
Oh, my favorite Back to the Future movie. Well, I liked the movies, but I'm not like a huge fan or anything. I'm not, I don't know, I just generally liked all of them, but if I had to choose what I thought was the best one, I would say the third one probably is the best one in my opinion.
Personally, I like the second one. The third one was pretty much just like the first one was about like him going like back in time for like his parents, and the second one is about like going to the future, and where now it's a whole bunch of stuff, and the third one is just now we're at the Wild West now. Hey. That's just my opinion. But yeah, like I was saying about the reviews, definitely like obviously take criticism. You know, if people can't take criticism, they can't learn, they can't get better. But there are some people that are just whiny babies about it though. Like I would see people on Yelp complaining, like making an entire chapter all because they didn't get their ranch. One small pack of ranch.
Yeah, well, you got to remember to put the ranch in there.
And then the person that made that, he was saying like I can't believe it. And you know, I think that they secretly didn't want to give me the ranch because they wanted to spend time with their friends with all the ranch and spend time at parties with all the ranch and keep the ranch all for themselves. And I was like, I don't know if that's why. I don't know if that's why. I think they just made a mistake. I don't know. I don't know.
Probably
it's
what
like
happened.
over exaggerating a bit. But yeah, definitely don't forget to put the ranch in there.
Alex says, I like alien movies. I like part 2 because I love action movies. Yeah, I'd say the second Aliens is probably better than the first one.
I've not watched all the
Although
alien
they
movies.
are kind of different movies. You know, the second one is an action movie, so it's hard to compare. The first one's a horror movie, so it's not.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Do the all the predators end up dying, and then the aliens are like the only ones left, or are predators still alive at during the last Alien movie?
Pretty sure they
I don't-
exist simultaneously.
Because did you see Predator Badlands? That was a good movie.
I did not see Predator Badlands. I heard it was horrible.
It's definitely annoying at the start. Like the woman at the start was definitely a Mary Sue at the start, but then she actually toned it down like a bit and actually ended up being like a character that was somewhat liked. But yeah, she was definitely a Mary Sue for the most part.
Many such cases.
Yeah, but was it worth the money? Probably not. But I will say I didn't leave the theater completely hating it. I mean, I liked the Predator. I liked the fights and stuff. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Pretty good just means that it's not good.
I would say that it was definitely like.
Now, we're talking about real movie ratings here, okay? Like, most normal, average, everyday schlubs will consider, most movies to be like a 7 out of 10, which is ridiculous because most movies are like 5 out of 10, okay?
Well,
The correct rating system is between 1 and 10, okay? If it's a out of 10 rating system, most movies cannot end up as a 7 out of 10. That's just not realistic. That's not logical. People rate movies the way they rate women, okay? They're afraid. It's like they're afraid of offending Hollywood, okay? There are shitty movies. There are ugly women, okay? Those are at 0. There are beautiful women. There are good movies. Those are 10. And, in between, and there's a wide range in between, all right? So I don't rate movies the way everyone else rates them. If a movie is mid to me, then I rate it as a 5 out of 10. I don't rate it as a 7 out of 10, which is what most people do. If they say it was a pretty good movie, then they'll put it at a 7 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10. And the rating is not from 5 to 10. It's from 0 to 10.
I never said it was a 7 out of 10. I just said it was pretty good. I personally agree with you. It's like it's
but
like a 5
while
6
you were
out of
talking
10.
about it, you're like flip-flopping back and forth. You're like, well, I didn't really like this about it, but I did like this about it, and so it's a mid movie. It's like a 5 out of 10. That's not pretty good. That's average.
Because at the start, I really did. It really did feel like a generic like a political movie where they were just trying to push a message.
And that's exactly what it is. And that's exactly what it is, which is why it's trash.
But they ended up actually being better. They actually ended up getting me to like the character. they screwed up at the start, but then I actually ended up liking the characters and stuff. It wasn't just like, oh,
that's called Stockholm Syndrome. Do you know anything about Stockholm Syndrome?
yes, but that's not what it was. Like,
yeah, that's Stockholm Syndrome. You have Stockholm Syndrome for Hollywood movies. They abuse you, and you finally begin to like them.
Well, okay. Did you?
This abuse is sick. It's gone on long enough. I don't know. I haven't seen Predator Bad, but I heard it was horrible, and it probably is. Anytime someone says
horrible,
movie's bad,
yeah, definitely. But well, it's definitely better. It's definitely better than like the sequels and stuff. I'm not because I don't want to say like every single movie is like complete utter trash. I always want to give at least some credit.
Better than what sequels?
Where it's due. Huh?
Better than what sequels?
Like Star Wars. Yeah.
The Star Wars sequels? You're comparing it to the Star Wars sequels?
Well, okay.
If you're comparing Badlands to the Star Wars sequels, that just tells you how bad the movie actually is.
Wait, no.
If you compare anything to the Star Wars sequels, that's a good way to let me know, to let anyone know that the movie is shit.
Predator Badlands has credits where it's due, where there like credit where it's due. Sequels has no credit at all. Like, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
I didn't come out of the theater like I felt like I didn't waste my money. At least was it a perfect movie? Of course, no. Of course, it wasn't a masterpiece of any kind. But
so it was mid. 5 out of 10.
Huh?
So Badlands was 5 out of 10 at best. Is a mid movie.
But yes, but I came out of the theater not regretting it. Is what I'm trying to say. Whereas like the sequels, I definitely regretted it, but like here it was it was worth my time is what it is all I'm trying to say. That's all. I'm not a shill or anything. I'm not a grifter or anything. I'm just speaking my opinion.
Some people would argue otherwise. They would say he's getting a paycheck, probably. Like they gave him money to say that.
I swear to you, I'm not shilling or grifting. It's just my personal opinion. When I first came into the theater, I thought it was going to be utter dog shit. But when I came out of the theater, it was only
partially dog shit.
Partially dog shit, yes.
It's pretty bad. So it's a 4 out of
5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. But yeah, I'm not a grifter or shill. I'm just giving credit where it's due, and where I personally, with my own opinion, think it does. Where I think it does deserve credit, like any other movie. But yeah, it's all love, you know. People, if there are people that would give it a 1 out of 10, okay, that's fair. That's their opinion.
Alex says, just me, or does Alien 4 feel a lot like Matrix 4, like they both have the same B-movie feel to them? I have no idea. I did not see the 4th Aliens movie. I've only seen, I think, the first 2. I've seen clips of the different Alien movies, so I might know a little bit of what you're talking about, but I can't. You'd have to mention like specifically what Alien 4, like what the actual title is. And as far as Matrix goes, I don't know. I haven't seen a single Matrix movie, and I don't know if I want to.
And I've not seen the B movie in a long time, so I don't.
No. He's not talking about the B movie. He said like the same B movie feel, as in like the B-rated movie.
Oh, my bad.
Not like the B movie, not that. That movie's actually good. Top tier.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, and about movies, because AI is now like more advanced. I have a feeling that in the future, in like maybe a year or two, or maybe longer or whenever, people will start using AI to make their own movies. So if Disney won't make a good Star Wars movie, people can definitely use AI, like really advanced AI, to make a really good Star Wars movie and many other things, and can't wait for it if it happens.
I'm pretty sure it probably won't happen. See, the thing is with the AI stuff is just it suffers from lack of consistency. So you can't make
True.
a good AI. Like you can make like those short like AI fan films.
Yeah,
That's pretty much all you can do with it, but you can never like make an actual movie with it. Not like a full like cinematic feature length film. And if you did, it would actually cost you a lot of money.
yeah.
Like
it would
even
definitely
if
cost
you
a
were
lot of money.
using AI, because the different AI video generators, they cost money. It's not free to use them. Some of them are free right now, but they're not going to stay free forever. And ones that are like top tier are going to be paid for. And if you're going to pay for it, you're going to pay like $1,000, $2,000 a month for a top tier like AI video generator. And so realistically, there's no average ordinary people that are just going to be making Star Wars films in their basement with with an AI algorithm. So I don't see that happening.
Which is why I said like maybe in like two years or and maybe 10 years later.
Not in 2 years.
Maybe
not in
AI
10
will
years.
be more.
It's still going to be too expensive.
Yes. I know. I'm just saying maybe later AI will be more advanced and maybe cost less. And even if it doesn't, I can still see a couple people try making movies with AI. That's just a possibility. I'm not saying it's 100% going to happen. Maybe
I say
it'll never
it's
be
more.
an AI
It's
movie.
more likely that in 10 years the AI bubble is going to burst. There's going to be a massive stock market crash for like the AI sector. Like that's all going to come crashing down. Not the entire stock market, but like the AI portion of it is going to explode. And a lot of those companies are going to go out of business. They're going to have to shut down their data centers. Some of them will still exist and they'll be around, but ultimately, like AI video generation right now, from what I understand, is not profitable. Like they're not making any money off of it. The only money, literally the only money they're making is from like the stock market, because people are investing in it. They're, everyone's hyped up about like the AI revolution, and so stockholders are throwing money into it. Companies are throwing money into it, and so it's just like I said, it's a bubble. It's a massive bubble, and when it breaks, what's going to happen is a lot of people are going to lose a lot of money. And the person who sells first and pulls out first is going to be the winner. So, is AI going to be around? Yeah, it's going to be around, but it's not going to look like what people think it's going to look like. And like AI video generation is going to end up being like an expensive Hollywood tool. And there's still going to be, like the lower tier like AI video generators that exist for like public consumption, but it's not going to be it's never going to be as good as stuff that like Hollywood has.
Some people believe that in the future that society will become a cashless society, where we want to be using money like no dollar bills at all. Just
Well, I mean,
straight up.
we pretty much
cash
are
bills.
right now, so that's not really a prediction.
Well, I meant like.
I mean, people still
um,
use it, but it's, I mean,
know.
it's mostly not used. Apple Pay, they use their credit card. That's not really, they're not. I pay for everything with credit cards for the most part. I barely have cash. That's the same with most people. So
yeah.
we're
I'm just
already.
saying, I'm
It's
just saying,
not
like,
really a
completely cashless.
prediction. It's just like already here. Most people already are doing it. So
Well, I just meant like meaning like dollar bills will no longer be an option anywhere anymore. But here, dollar bills is still like an option. I was just saying, like, you know, in the future, it will be completely cashless.
I think
society.
it's possible, and maybe eventually, but I mean, I don't think so right now. Not for
Well, yeah,
probably
not right now. I just
not for
meant, like,
probably
in the
another
future.
20. I'd say probably not another 20,
Yeah, probably.
maybe even more than that. Anyway, all right. I gotta roll out of here. I'll be back later tonight. I'm gonna be working on Unreal Engine again. So
Okay.
thank you so much
Autobots,
for
roll
thank you so
out.
much for watching. Appreciate you for being here. Wait, which one are you? You're Darth Statisticus. Okay. Andrew was here earlier, and I said he sounded like you. I thought you had joined first, but
Oh, interesting.
anyway, thank you for being here, Darth Statisticus, and also thank you
It
for
was
being
nice
here,
being here with you, talking.
Alec, Nicole. I mean not Nicole, Nicholas Porter, AB. Thank you for sponsoring this show. Revenite Master, Mr. Flying Bantha Return, Darth Goob, Colonel X185. Thanks for watching, and eat the chunk of sizzle on the floor. Hope you have a nice night. Hopefully I'll see you on the next one, which is actually later tonight. But if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my green screen channel or my gaming channel, because I've been flip-flopping my streams between the 3 channels, because I want to get more watch time on some of those other channels, so that I can monetize the other channels as well. So appreciate it if you would stop by. Jar Jar Studios Plus green screens stream sometime, or gaming stream as well. Hopefully I'll see you there.